All right, I think I'm going to go ahead and get started. So, welcome to a Facebook Live from National Cybersecurity Student Association. I'm actually doing it first time, so I'm not sure how we're going to get rolling here. I believe you can comment at the bottom. If you want to ask any questions, feel free to go ahead and do it. And we will be talking today about what happens when you think about graduate studies and how to actually pursue graduate studies in cybersecurity. And before that, I would like to make a couple of announcements. First of all, please subscribe. There is somewhere a button, left or right, top or bottom, where you can subscribe to see when National Cybersecurity Student Association can actually go live, and it will notify you. Also, on December 15th, I believe, we will have our great webinar from Ninja Jobs, and the Chief Operating Officer will be talking about cybersecurity careers and current skills and traits that people actually need right now in the marketplace. So just jumping straight into graduate studies. My name is Vitaly Ford. I am an advisory board member of the association, and I'm currently a PhD candidate at Tennessee Tech, and I plan to defend my dissertation on February 23rd, 20-ish. So pretty soon I'm going to be a graduate with a PhD degree. So, and today I would like to really talk about why would you ever want to pursue graduate studies in cybersecurity, and how really it affects your future career. So I'd like to start with a couple of things. So first of all, say you got your bachelor's degree, and you probably have a couple of options. You can either go to work straight ahead, maybe through your previous internships, or you just got a job and walk through the interviews, and you got a position somewhere as a introductory, I don't know, maybe a programmer or software developer, mobile developer. And then a couple of years later, you were thinking, well, maybe I could get a master's degree or maybe even PhD degree to earn a little bit more, maybe get a higher position, right? So that's one of the reasons why a lot of students go back to school to actually get their master's or PhD degree, so to get better in their career path. And a big thing here is that when you go to master's degree, you can choose 3 different tracks. First track is when you just choose to take more classes, and within 1.5 or 2 years you fulfill all the requirements, you write a comprehensive exam, and you pretty much get your master's degree. Another track is when you choose not to take as many classes, but you choose to actually work on a project, which is more exciting, and that's when the fun part kicks in. So you can work on a lot of projects, especially if you go to cybersecurity right now, and cybersecurity became a very hot topic. So there are a lot of things to actually talk about, a lot of things to research, a lot of things to play with, and a lot of students right now, they pursue cybersecurity because it's first of all, it's easier to get into cybersecurity rather than to do research in, say, software development environment, right? So, students choose track of projects rather than going for taking a test and taking more classes, is because they want to work on some kind of exciting project that they're interested in. And it might be even a project that you just picked on from your current job, right? So a cool thing about master's degree is that or PhD degree per se, is that you don't really have to think about courses, rather than you have to think about your research. And research is the main focus in graduate studies. So a lot of students go there just because they passionate about some kind of topic. Say I started my cybersecurity studies at Tennessee Tech as a master's student, and I selected a topic in a smart grid area, which is basically electrical grid, I worked on developing a protocol and for privacy preserving communication and then fraud detection, which is also applying machine learning. And there are a lot of venues in cybersecurity right now that you can pursue. Some of the things and you also feel free to comment if you have any questions right now or sometime in the future. So at some time when I got my master's degree, I actually continued for PhD, and PhD and master's is a lot different, even though both of them have some kind of research topic in it. PhD is more about getting your knowledge in a specific area and becoming an expert in that area and learning as much as you can, and then trying to find something that is missing, trying to find something where you can improve on. So you're building your basically your career, your PhD mentality based on reading a lot of materials, a lot of literature, based on some kind of experiment that you're trying to set up in a particular topic. And when you have that topic set up and you already chose it, you pursue that topic, and eventually you develop something new. You contribute to a community with a novel knowledge that is not out there yet. That's why PhD is different from master's degree, because PhD is a lot more about going through beyond the maximum border that we have a knowledge. Say we have knowledge of like kind of this sphere, and you're trying to break through that sphere and find this little thing that somebody just missed, or it will say some kind of project that will improve community life, or maybe community health in general, or improve security of a system. So a lot of stuff is going on in the PhD and the master's while you're actually studying. And it's not only just research and taking courses. You constantly go to different conferences throughout the year. You present posters, maybe publish a paper, then publish a journal. And building your PhD mentality basically in a school is very, very difficult. At the same time, it's very rewarding at the end, because you will learn not only specific area and deepen your knowledge, but also you will be able to work on exciting projects. You will contribute to community, and you also will learn how to manage stress and time. You will definitely earn more money when you get, say, master's degree in comparison with a bachelor's degree on the same job that you are right now. And also, these days, right now, it's actually easier to get into graduate studies in cybersecurity through such programs as, say, CyberCorp's Scholarship for Service, which basically fully pays for your tuition for a few years, and you can get it as a undergrad, you can get it for graduate studies. On top of paying tuition, they also pay for your books, your travel to conferences. They give you very generous stipend, so that you don't actually have to work while studying. And this is all done through United States government, and the only thing you have to do is just to work for them for 2 years after graduating, or 3 years, as much as they actually supported you. So we've got the question here: how can you pursue a PhD while holding down a full-time job? This is actually possible right now. PhD is more about research. So usually when you get into PhD program, you have to take up to, say, 6 classes. So usually people who try to kind of work and get into PhD, what they do, they take 1 class per semester, which basically will tell you that you're a full-time student. At the same time, you can work. And taking just 1 class per semester is not it's more difficult, definitely, but the main focus will be again on research. So as long as you've done 6 semesters, which will take you 3 years to go through all the classwork, but while doing that, you can always work on the research. What's that program name again that offers funding? So that program is called CyberCorps, CORPS, like kind of Peace Corps, but it's CyberCorps, and the full name is CyberCorps Scholarship for Service. And there are 62 universities across the nation right now that actually support that program, and you can look it up. If you just Google CyberCorps Scholarship for Service, it will jump you to an official sfs.opm.gov, I think, website, and you can get a list of all the schools that actually support the scholarship. Then you can you can click on one of those schools and you can connect with the principal investigator of the CyberCorps in that local school. And you can contact that investigator, tell them, hey, I would like to pursue a PhD program. Can you tell me more about CyberCorps and what should I do? So that will definitely help you out. And they really pay generous stipend and pay fully for your tuition. You literally don't have to do anything except just researching. And cybersecurity, again, is a very hot topic right now. It's not too difficult to pick up a problem that hasn't been solved yet, or find some kind of improvement in the existing system. You can work in cyber ethics. You can work in managing on a higher level of cybersecurity. Work on procedures, maybe rules, maybe something else. So it's not necessarily have to be highly technical to pursue a PhD career. And also right now, a lot of schools support online PhD classes, so you can work at the same time while taking PhD classes online. So that also is available. There are also, of course, other scholarships as well. Like I think Cisco had their scholarship supporting for specifically cybersecurity, and you can also learn about it on Cisco website, or make a request at the National Students Cybersecurity Association, and we will give you a response about that. Let's see. So PhD is, I'd like to talk a little bit more about PhD, and we'll probably wrap it up. So the final year of PhD is a little bit challenging because you have to work on your dissertation, where basically you try to put all your projects you have been working on for a couple of years together to make it to find like a bigger picture and connect them all together and write a dissertation about it. So also you probably will, the final semester, you will have to start applying for jobs, which PhD students have two opportunities to go. They can either go to academia and start teaching and doing research, and you can go also to back to industry, and you will definitely get a higher position than as a bachelor student. So I chose to go to academia, and I have been applying to different schools right now. Even though I am defending only at the end of February, I already started applying, and I applied to about 50 schools at this point. So after applying to different schools, you're going to go through all that interview process, and that will start probably in January, February. And during your PhD studies, you, as I already mentioned, you're not only researching, you're also going to conferences. You can work with your local cybersecurity club, establish a national Cybersecurity Students Association chapter. At Tennessee Tech, I actually one of the founders of the Cybersecurity Club locally here, so I've helped to get students to competitions, to get to conferences. We had a lot of activities, so even though I had a lot of stuff to do as a PhD student, I still did a lot of community work, outreach, and research with the undergraduates. So graduate studies is really, really fun, even though sometimes you can always find examples when graduate studies went wrong. But if you don't give up, if you learn how to manage stress and time, and eventually get that degree, it will be very rewarding at the very end. It will worth it, definitely worth it. And as I already mentioned, right now it's much easier to get into graduate studies, pretty much paid fully tuition and getting stipend, which is excellent, I think, and it's freely available right now. You can just apply to all those 62 schools, or I don't know, maybe half of them, and ask if you have an opportunity for that. So if you don't have any questions, I will probably wrap up right now soon. So there is also, again, there is somewhere here on top of the bottom, there is a subscribe button that will tell you when the association goes live. And we will have a webinar on December 15th from 2 to 3 Eastern Time. And presenter will be from Ninja Jobs. And presenter will be talking about cybersecurity careers, what kind of skills and traits right now needed in the marketplace in the cybersecurity area. So if nobody has any questions, I would like to thank you all for coming, and shoot us a message or email if you have any other questions about, I don't know, master's degree or PhD degrees, or how to get a student association chapter, how to get into those scholarships. We will definitely try to let you know in response in time. Well, thanks everyone, and I hope you're going to join us on a webinar on December 15th from 2 to 3 Eastern Time. Yeah, all right. Bye.